Imagine this: you are standing on a vast plain thousands of years ago. The ground beneath your feet stretches endlessly in every direction. The sun rises from one side of the world. It travels across the sky, then disappears beyond the horizon. The stars move overhead every night. The moon changes shape, thunder shakes the heavens. And nobody has ever been to space. Nobody has seen the Earth from above. Nobody knows what lies beyond the distant horizon, so one question becomes unavoidable. What exactly is this world? Is the Earth flat? A giant mountain, a floating island, a cosmic egg, or perhaps the back of an enormous animal carrying everything that exists? For thousands of years, ancient civilizations tried to answer that question, and their answers were some of the most fascinating ideas humans have ever imagined. This is the story of what ancient people believed the Earth really was. Long before science existed, humans still needed explanations. Every day they saw the same mysteries. The sun appeared and disappeared. The stars moved in predictable patterns. The ground seemed perfectly still, and the horizon looked flat. To ancient observers, the Earth certainly did not appear to be a spinning sphere racing through space. It looked stable, motionless, flat, and surrounded by powerful forces beyond human understanding. So the earliest civilizations created stories, not because they were foolish, but because stories were the best tools they had. These stories became myths, and myths became entire worldviews. One of the earliest known civilizations emerged in Mesopotamia, in the lands between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. To the ancient Babylonians, the Earth was often imagined as a giant flat disk. Above this disk stretched a solid dome of heaven. The sun, moon, and stars traveled across this heavenly roof. Beyond the dome existed cosmic waters, waters above, waters below. Everything humanity knew existed inside this enormous cosmic structure. To them, the world was not floating through empty space. Space itself did not even exist as a concept. Instead, Earth sat at the center of a carefully organized universe created by divine powers. It was a world that felt understandable, predictable, and safe, at least most of the time. The Egyptians imagined something very different. For them, the Earth was closely connected to the gods themselves. The sky was represented by the goddess Nut, a gigantic figure arching over the world. The Loher-Laget, the god of the earth. Every day the sun traveled across Nut's body. Every night it journeyed through the underworld before rising again. The earth was not merely dirt and rock, it was part of a living cosmic drama. Everything in nature reflected relationships between divine beings. The Nile flooded, the seasons changed, the stars moved, because the gods were actively shaping reality. To ancient Egyptians, the universe was alive. The universe breathed through gods, rivers, and stars. Every part of existence had meaning. Some of the most famous ancient ideas came from India. Over thousands of years, many different cosmological traditions emerged. One popular image described the earth resting upon enormous elephants. The elephants stood upon a giant turtle, and beneath the turtle stretched an endless cosmic ocean. Whether taken literally or symbolically, these stories expressed an important idea. The universe had layers, visible worlds resting upon invisible foundations. Reality was much larger and stranger than ordinary experience suggested. Ancient Indian thinkers also developed remarkably sophisticated astronomy. In fact, some scholars eventually proposed ideas about Earth's spherical nature long before modern science emerged. The story was already becoming more complicated. Myth and observation existed side by side. Different explanations attempted to describe the same universe. The search for answers continued. New ideas slowly appeared. Observation was beginning to challenge tradition. Humanity's picture of the Earth was gradually evolving. In ancient China, one influential belief described the Earth as square. Above it stood a round heavenly dome. This idea matched what people observed. The horizon often appeared flat and orderly, while the sky curved overhead like a giant bowl. Chinese scholars carefully tracked celestial events, recorded eclipses, mapped stars, and studied the movements of heavenly bodies with incredible precision. Although early models differed from modern understanding, they represented serious attempts to understand the universe through observation. The desire to explain the cosmos was becoming increasingly systematic. Data replaced some assumptions, patterns became evidence. The heavens could be studied, and understanding slowly improved. Far to the north, the Vikings imagined a universe unlike any other. According to Norse mythology, the earth was created from the body of a primordial giant named Ymir. His flesh became the land, his blood became the seas, his bones became mountains, and his skull formed the sky. Humanity lived in Midgard, a protected realm surrounded by enormous oceans. Beyond those oceans existed strange lands, monsters, and powerful beings. To the Norse, the world was not simply geography. It was a battlefield between order and chaos, a place where gods, giants, and humans all played their roles in a cosmic story. Every realm had its place, every creature had significance. The universe itself felt alive with conflict and purpose. Myths explained what could not yet be measured. They transformed mystery into meaning, and uncertainty into stories that shaped entire civilizations. The answer is surprisingly simple, because that is exactly what it looks like. Stand in an open field, look around. The earth appears flat. The horizon seems level. Nothing about everyday experience suggests that you are standing on a sphere thousands of kilometers wide. In fact, a spherical earth feels counterintuitive. How could people live upside down on the other side? Why don't oceans fall off? Why can't we feel the earth moving? These questions puzzle ancient thinkers for centuries, and they were reasonable questions. Without advanced tools, the idea of a spherical earth was difficult to prove. Evidence was limited. The horizon hid important clues. Distance concealed the Earth's shape. Observation alone was not always enough. New methods would be needed. Then something extraordinary happened. Ancient Greek thinkers began asking new kinds of questions. Instead of relying only on myths, they started looking for evidence, patterns, geometry, logic. One philosopher noticed that ships disappearing over the horizon vanished from the bottom upward. Another observed that different stars became visible when traveling north or south. These observations hinted at something remarkable. The Earth's surface might be curved. Then came one of the greatest intellectual achievements in human history. A scholar named Eratosthenes realized that shadows appeared differently in different cities at the same time, using simple geometry. He estimated the circumference of the Earth more than 2,000 years ago. And his calculation was astonishingly close to the correct answer. Without satellites, without airplanes, without modern technology, just observation and mathematics, humanity had taken a giant step toward understanding its true world. Evidence was beginning to outweigh assumptions. Mathematics became a tool for exploring reality. The universe could be investigated, not merely imagined. Questions were becoming discoveries, and curiosity was becoming science. A new understanding of Earth had begun. Gradually, the spherical Earth gained acceptance among many educated scholars. Not everywhere, not instantly, but the evidence kept growing. Lunar eclipses revealed the Earth's curved shadow on the moon. Astronomical observations became more precise. Navigation improved. The old myths did not disappear overnight. But a new picture of reality was emerging. The Earth was not a flat disk, not a square platform, not the back of a giant turtle. It was a sphere, a world suspended in space. Part of a much larger cosmos than anyone had previously imagined. The scale of reality had expanded dramatically. Humanity's place in the universe suddenly seemed much smaller. Yet there is something fascinating about all these ancient ideas. They were not simply wrong answers. They were humanity's first attempts to solve an enormous mystery. Every civilization looked at the same sky, the same sun, the same stars, and tried to make sense of them. Their conclusions reflected their cultures, their environments, their beliefs, and the limits of the knowledge available at the time. In many ways, these ancient cosmologies reveal something profound. Humans are storytellers. We constantly search for explanations, even when the answers remain hidden. Curiosity survives uncertainty. Questions drive discovery. And every answer leads to new mysteries. Today, we know that Earth is a rocky planet orbiting the Sun, one world among billions of worlds scattered throughout the universe. But for most of human history, nobody knew that. Ancient people imagined cosmic oceans, divine beings, world turtles, sky domes, and giant celestial structures supporting reality itself. And while those ideas may sound strange today, they represent one of humanity's greatest strengths: curiosity, the endless desire to understand where we are and what this mysterious world truly is. Because every scientific discovery begins the same way, with a simple question: what exactly are we standing on? And perhaps the most incredible part of the story is this. The people asking that question thousands of years ago were not so different from us.